You know, they said he was destroying our alliances. But what just happened at NATO proves that Trump plays chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Watch what happens when American strength meets European weakness. In a stunning moment of honesty, NATO's Secretary General called President Trump exactly what he is: the boss who finally made Europe pay up. After decades of freeloading, after years of broken promises, NATO just committed to 5% GDP defense spending. That's unheard of. That's trillions of dollars with a T. The same leaders who laughed at Trump's demands are now scrambling to write checks. This is domination. The art of the deal just became the art of total surrender. Now stay locked in. With President Trump's Made in America agenda eyeing import tariffs, the race for secure domestic supply just hit overdrive. Copper is charging back towards last year's records. You don't have to scavenge your power lines, okay? Copper is charging back with a record, hovering around 4.85 cents a pound as global stockpiles scrape 15-year lows. Enter Giant Mining Corp, ticker BFGFF in the US and BFG in Canada. Their 9,800-acre Majuba Hill project sits in mining-friendly Nevada, right beside highway, rail, power, gas, and fiber. Recent drilling delivered a 170-foot copper zone averaging 0.4%, capped by a 10-foot streak running 4.4% copper. This kind of punch is what majors pay billions for. Engineering firm RESPEC is already fast-tracking the first NI 43-101 resource, so Majuba could leap from a drill rig to development while rivals get tangled in new red tape. In a super cycle where projects that move fast win, Giant Mining checks every box. Discover more at giantminingcorp.com, on the OTC at BFGFF in the US and BFG in Canada. Now, let's watch our trusty leader, Gary Franchi, at NATO one more time. Take a look.
I'm Gary Franchi, Chief White House Correspondent for the Next News Network, reporting live from outside the White House secured hotel in the NATO's Summit Security Zone in The Hague, Netherlands. It's a sunny evening here, but don't let the calm skies fool you. The undercurrents are absolutely electric. The summit has seen major changes in NATO's defense posture and the alliance's relationship with the United States. And today, we witnessed a historic shift. Earlier, President Trump took a major step forward in demanding that NATO nations commit to spending 5% of GDP on defense, a move that Trump has been advocating for years. And while NATO leaders now prepare to embrace his bold shift, we're already seeing the fruits of Trump's leadership in real time. So let's dive in. Yes, in a strategic pull aside with reporters earlier today, President Trump made it absolutely clear NATO's defense spending is about to skyrocket. After years of asking for 5% GDP, NATO members are finally committing, and that is absolutely huge. Watch the moment.
We're with them all the way. I mean, if you take a look at the numbers, we're with them, and they're very big things to announce today. I don't know if you've taken the vote or you're going to take the vote, but I've been asking them to go up to 5% for a number of years, and they're going up to 5%. That's a big, from 2%. And a lot of people didn't even pay the 2%. So I think it's going to be very big news. NATO is going to become very strong with us.
Now, this is not just a policy shift. This is Trump's doctrine in action. NATO, once resistant, is now forced to comply, and it's happening because of Trump's relentless push. This is a victory for America, a victory for peace through strength. And it did not stop there. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte took a moment during the press conference to praise Trump's decisive action, specifically on the Iran ceasefire. And he called Trump both a man of strength and a man of peace, acknowledging that NATO's recent commitments would not have happened without Trump's leadership. Take a look.
Let me first, before I go to spending, I just want to recognize your decisive action in Iran.
Thank you.
You are a man of strength, but you're also a man of peace. And the fact that you are now also successful in getting this ceasefire done between Israel and Iran, I really want to commend you for that.
Thank you.
And I think this is important for the whole world. Then on spending, it's absolutely true. I want to state here, without President Trump, this would not have happened. In 3 stages. When you became president in 2016, 2017, you forced Europeans and Canadians to pay more. At this moment, the result of that phase is 1 trillion extra aggregate defense spending by the Canadians and the Europeans. Then came phase 2, when you became president in January last year. Phase 2 is that all the countries not yet on 2% have now committed to the 2%. This is the old goal from Wales in 2014. 7 were not on 2%. Some were saying somewhere in the 2030s. Now this year, all of them, including Canada, including Italy, including Belgium, they have all now committed to the 2%. And now comes the big splash. Today, we will decide to go to 5%. We have to keep ourselves safe for our adversaries, but also because it is fair to equalize with the United States. With this 5%, the Europeans and the Canadians will equalize their defense spending with the United States. So this is not about American taxpayers paying more. This is about Europeans, Canadians paying more. And again, this would not have happened. I'm really saying this here. And some people might criticize me, but then when I speak with them, they all say, yes, you're right. This would not have happened if you would not have been elected in 2016 and re-elected last year and back into office in January. So I want to thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Now, that is not just flattery. That is the global recognition of Trump's impact. $1 trillion in additional defense spending from European allies since 2016, thanks to Trump's unwavering pressure. And today, NATO leaders will finally pay up for their decades of inaction. But Trump's focus wasn't just on NATO's defense spending. When asked about the Iranian nuclear threat, President Trump made it absolutely clear that Iran won't be allowed to enrich uranium. And he reaffirmed that America will not let Iran cross that line. Watch.
What is your response to the Iranian foreign minister continuing to say Iran will enrich uranium and pursue nuclear weapons?
Well, I don't know if they've said that, but I'll tell you, the last thing they want to do is enrich anything right now. They want to recover. And we won't let that happen, number one. Militarily, we won't. I think we'll end up having somewhat of a relationship with Iran. I see it. Look, I've had a relationship over the last 4 days. They agreed to the ceasefire. And it was a very equal agreement. They both said, that's enough. They both said it. But no, they won't do that. The last thing they want to do, Katie, is enrich. They're not looking to... They're not. Can you imagine after all of that, they're going to say, "Oh, let's go and do a bomb." There could be a day in the future where, and then somebody else taking our place will be saying, "Don't do it," and maybe they won't do it as well. I don't know, but they're not going to have a bomb, and they're not going to enrich. And we believe all of the stuff is down there. We don't think they had nearly the time, because to get that out is a very difficult thing. It's not like moving a package or taking this carpet up and moving it. It's very difficult. It's very dangerous to do. We believe it's all down there. We had a tremendous victory, a tremendous hit, and because of that, I don't think they would have been down there, because they knew we were coming. When they know we're coming, they're not going to be down in that 30 stories underground. So no, I think it was just a tremendous victory for everybody, including Iran. Look, they've got a country, and they've got oil, and they're very smart people, and they can come back. Israel got hit very hard, especially the last couple of days. Israel was hit really hard. Those ballistic missiles, boy, they took out a lot of buildings. And they've been great. Bibi Netanyahu should be very proud of himself. And they've really been great. But they're not going to be building bombs for a long time.
This is why Trump's leadership matters. He's not just talking, he's taking action. The Iranian nuclear threat has been neutralized because of Trump's decisive strikes, and the world is safer for it. And when asked about the success of the operation that took out Iran's nuclear facilities, Trump didn't hold back. He called it obliteration. And the results speak for themselves. Trump's military strategy didn't just hit hard, it decimated Iran's ability to produce nuclear weapons. Watch.
We hear it was obliteration. It was a virtual obliteration. When you take a look at the ground above, don't forget, the flame is all underground. But everything above, if you look at the before and the after picture, everything above is burned black. The trees, everything. There's one building, but that's a building that sunk substantially into the granite, so that, the fire goes right over it. I believe it was total obliteration. I believe they didn't have a chance to get anything out because we acted fast. If it would have taken 2 weeks maybe, but it's very hard to remove that kind of material. Very hard and very dangerous for them to remove it. Plus, they knew we were coming. And if they know we're coming, they're not going to be down there. There aren't too many people that are going to be down there. Pete, do you have something to say about that?
Well, Mr. President, when you talk to the people who built the bombs, understand what those bombs can do, and deliver those bombs, they landed precisely where they were supposed to. It was a flawless mission.
Flawless.
Right down where we knew they needed to enter. And given the 30,000 pounds of explosives and capability of those munitions, it was devastation underneath Fordo. And the amount of munitions, 6 per location, any assessment that tells you it was something otherwise is speculating with other motives. And we know that because when you actually look at the report, by the way, it was a top secret report, it was preliminary, it was low confidence. All right, so this isn't, you make assessments based on what you know.
And it said it could be very devastating, very serious.
Moderate to severe, and we believe far more likely severe and obliterated. So this is a political motive here.
This is Trump's brand of leadership, swift, decisive, and strategic. Iran's nuclear ambitions are in ruins, and the world is watching as the U.S. reasserts its dominance on the world stage. Senator Marco Rubio, he called out the leaks from intelligence sources which sought to discredit Trump's strike. And Rubio made it clear, Iran's nuclear program is set back by years because of Trump's inaction. And there's no question about it. Roll it.
No, first of all this stuff about the intelligence, this is what a leaker is telling you the intelligence says. That's the game these people play. They read it, and then they go out and characterize it the way they want it characterized, and they're leakers. This is the game they play. So that's number one. Number two, here's a fact. The conversion facility, which you can't do a nuclear weapon without a conversion facility, we can't even find where it is, where it used to be on the map. You can't even find where it used to be because the whole thing is just blackened out. It's gone.
It's wiped out.
It's wiped out. Then we dropped 12 of the strongest bombs on the planet right down the hole in 2 places. Everything underneath that mountain is in bad shape. And I refer you to the statement of the IAEA, Mr. Grossi. You know what he said? He said there was Iran, the way it looked the day before the attack, and what their nuclear program looks like now. 2 very different things. They are way behind where they were just 7 days ago. Now, anything in the world can be rebuilt. But now we know where it is, and if they try to rebuild it, we'll have options there as well. But all this leaker stuff, these leakers are professional stabbers. That's what they are. They go out and they read this stuff, and then they tell you what it says against the law, but they characterize it for you in a way that's absolutely false. There's no way Iran comes to the table if somehow nothing had happened. This was complete and total obliteration. They're in bad shape. They are way behind today compared to where they were just 7 days ago because of what the president did.
The leakers? Irrelevant. The truth is undeniable. Trump's military genius has set Iran back, and the world is safer for it. NATO's push for more defense spending, well, that's a direct result of Trump's relentless drive to make America strong again. And President Trump also took a moment to praise the military pilots who carried out the strike. But as always, he didn't hold back when it came to the media, calling out CNN, MSDNC, and the New York Times for downplaying the success of that mission. Watch.
This was an unbelievable hit by genius pilots and genius people in the military, and they're not being given credit for it because we have scum that's in this group, and not all of you are. You have some great reporters, but you have scum. CNN is scum. MSDNC is scum. The New York Times is scum. They're bad people. They're sick. And what they've done is they're trying to make this unbelievable victory into something less. Now, even they admit that it was hit very hard, okay? But it wasn't hit hard. It was hit brutally, and it knocked it out. The original word that I use, I guess it got us in trouble because it's a strong word. It was obliteration.
That is the Trump that we know. Relentless, bold, and unapologetic. He honors the troops, he holds the media accountable, and he delivers results. And when Trump made his entrance at the World Forum for the NATO summit, it was clear he wasn't just attending, he was leading. Watch.
The Honorable Donald Trump, President of the United States of America.
No speeches, no grandiose gestures, just Trump in full force. the embodiment of America First and NATO's most critical voice. So today wasn't just another summit. It was the Trump doctrine in action, a leader reshaping the global stage with strength, honor, and decisiveness. As security rolls out and the summit continues, President Trump came here to make NATO stronger, and he did. He came here to stop wars before they start, and he did. Now, as we wait for the final statements and the press conferences, one thing is clear: NATO is changing, and Trump's fingerprints are all over it. So stay tuned. Peace through strength is no longer a slogan. It's the reality that we're living in today. As a member of the White House media delegation, I'm traveling with President Trump, witnessing firsthand the unfolding decisions that will shape the future of global peace. I'm Gary Franchi, reporting for the Next News Network, deep inside NATO's security zone. We are your eyes and ears at this summit, bringing you the unfiltered truth from the front lines of diplomacy. So stay sharp, stay bold, and remember, the world is watching, and we're going to bring you every moment of this historic journey. Keep watching. The battle for peace begins here.
That was our fearless leader, Gary Franchi, reporting from The Hague at the NATO summit. Quite an amazing turn of events here. I also want to give a thanks to Squeeze a Lot for some super chats, and Tom B420 doing great. Brett and Todd, Gary, Angie, Brian, N3 for life. Thank you so much. We always appreciate your super chats. Now, this is what real leadership looks like. You know, for decades, Europe built their socialist utopias on the backs of American taxpayers, and it cost millions and millions and more millions of lives. You know, they enjoyed their 6-week vacations while our workers paid for their defense. You know, they lectured us about diplomacy and political correctness while we protected them from the world's enemies. It's a con game that just ended, arguably forever. Trump didn't negotiate, he demanded. He didn't ask, he told. That's what the leader of the free world does. And when NATO's chief praised Trump's decisive action and credited him for forcing Europe to finally pay up, he exposed the truth that everyone knows. America runs this show, and Trump just collected the bill. Not because we're the strongest, but because we're the goodest. The establishment said that demanding 5% would destroy NATO. Not that that would be a bad thing, but it didn't. Instead, Trump saved it by making it fair. That's exactly what happens when you elect a businessman instead of a politician. Results instead of excuses. We discussed this yesterday. Trump builds skyscrapers while the rest of the world is creating wooden shacks. Now, here's the question. Should Trump demand 10% next time, or is 5% enough? Yes for 10, no for staying at 5. Sound off. Now, remember, support America First journalism at our merch shop. That's shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.